NCIC. El Nasser Company for Intermediate Chemicals. One of the biggest fertilizer projects in the Middle East, which is located in El Ain El Sakna in Egypt. Early 2017, Egytrans secured the job with their partners Toyota Spain, covering all the door-to-door forwarding logistics services for Imtexa Industrial. Egytrans transported most of the heavy and over-dimensioned packages for this project, but the biggest quest was transporting the 263 tons boiler, with height about 10.10 meters, including the transporting equipment, and the final absorption tower, with maximum width about 9.60 meters, and height about 10.75 meters, from Adibaya port up to the site. Before the transportation, we have to secure the packages on the trailers, using our lashing equipment, with the accurate amount of lashing, to keep them safe, according to the calculations done by our engineering team. After securing, we can start moving from our storing yard inside the port, to park before the outer gates, to be ready to start our trip. Getting out of the port gates wasn't that easy, for these huge dimensions. We had to arrange with the port authority to enlarge the current gate, by removing some of the fixed gates parts temporary, and return them again after getting out. With the first daylight we started moving with the convoy, heading to the site. The distance from the port up to the site is around 50 kilometers, but for packages with these dimensions, it will not be easy to do this job. Although the short distance, we will face some serious obstacles and limitations, due to the big widths and heights. One of the obstacles we faced in our trip is the overhead low-tension cables, with low heights. Our engineering team measured the cables' heights along the route, and found that we will hit them with the packages due to the big heights. These cables are isolated, but we need to get them down to the ground, to be able to pass. This operation should be done on the spot when the package arrives to each cable, to avoid blocking the traffic for a long time, and to return the cable as it was again immediately after passing. Another type of obstacles we faced on the route is the overhead high-tension cables 220 kV. For this type of electricity cables, we have to keep a safe distance from the cable, to avoid getting in the magnetic field of the cable. Switching off these types of electricity cables is very costly, as they are feeding industrial areas, with a big number of factories. We had to bypass every cable according to the road conditions at each one, by using opposite direction, or even constructing a bypass around the cable. Another type of the overhead cables which we faced, is the medium tension cable 6.6 kV. This cable belongs to one of the petroleum companies, and due to its low height it has to be raised, but it is not isolated like the low tension cables, and it has to be switched off. We arranged with the petroleum company, and switched it off when the convoy reached it, so we could raise it to be able to pass. And now, we are heading to the last obstacle, S.A.E toll station. We could pass it with some of the packages, but for the other packages, with the big width and height, it is not possible to pass these gates. We have to leave the main road to go around the gates. We prepared a bypass, with a suitable entrance and exit, starting before the toll station, and ending after. And again we could successfully pass this obstacle. Finally we reached the site access road, heading to the side gate. We are now inside the site, moving the packages to their final positions, and finishing a new successful and safe job, by the hands of our professional and well-trained team.